Hello and welcome to another recording in AutoCAD. Today we'll be looking at the opening parts of Chapter 3, Geometric Constructions, and we'll go through some of the little exercises that they have at the beginning of this chapter. Let's open up a new file, and let's do new, and you should have this particular little palette that will allow you to choose Imperial. If you don't, choose OK. I'll turn on, I like to see my grid. Get the grid going. Click down here, look through the characters, and then if you didn't have that little palette, you could engage that by typing startup, and then you need to type in a number 1 and then enter and then close out and restart again. So I'm not going to do that, but I trust you'll just type in 1. Oh, here I actually have dynamic setup, so I see it on my cursor. Okay, and that changes it so it opens up like this. I myself like to make this new layer, which I will call Geo Demo Layer, so that we can all see it in case I decide to use a construction line. I'll have that option. Okay, so we have a new drawing, and now we'll demonstrate the bisection of a line. The book asks you to make an arbitrary line A and B. Here's arbitrary. I'll do one more little part. This is for the demo, so I'm going to put text. This will just help us keep our marbles straight. When you're doing arbitrary things, it's hard to know where the beginning and end are. So let's go to our text. We'll put one here. Stick first corner. And that will be A. Enter and accept that. And let's drop this guy out. We'll just select it, drag and drop. Once you have layers going, you can drop this. And I'm just going to use this to help us clarify what we've got. So I'm going to copy this over here, and I'm going to change that. Double click. We'll be learning text soon, but you can play around with it. Double click, and then I changed it, and now we can clearly see A and B. We're going to continue on. It says that we're going to make sure that our dynamic input is on, and here's dynamic input. Turn it on. If you don't have dynamic input on your machine, then you would engage the 3 hamburger buns, or I guess it's a Whopper, or it's a Big Mac. And you're going to choose, it lives up here, dynamic input. I turn it on with a click, turn it off by deselecting it. We'll keep it on. That's where it lives. Okay, number 2 and number 3, select the line command. Specify first point. We're specifying the first point. AutoCAD expects us to identify the starting location. Before I do that, I'm going to go pick snap to perpendicular. Here's where it lies. Okay, it's down here, but we have to, what they didn't tell us is to go ahead and go into toolbars, AutoCAD, and make sure that we have our object snap. This handy little palette is going to save you a lot of time. Okay. Out of there, because then we have, this is a boo-boo out of here. This little palette has us the icons that we'll need for this assignment, and here we have temporary track point, snap from, locates a point, snap to endpoint, snap to midpoint, snap to intersection, snap to apparent, and then of course I won't read them all, but you should scroll over them so that you can see them yourself. And here's the command of the day, which is snap to perpendicular. So I'm going to select that. Okay. And do I still have my line? Okay. Let's do line, snap to perpendicular. It says invalid point, but let's just choose A. And oh, I see. This is part of it. This one, now I start my line. Let's go to use yellow. Okay, I'm going to make a new line. This is the given object. This is how we start. Now we're going to create a line, and we want to put it on a perpendicular and arbitrary perpendicular. So let's choose it, and we see this sign. If you can take a look at it, that's our friend, the right angle. So wherever we snap, we're going to get a right angle coming off this object. So I'll choose here, and that means I can't create any unknown angle that's not 90 degrees. Okay, select an arbitrary point above. We've chosen it. Okay, now I'm on command 7. In the drawing area, right click to activate the option menu. Okay, right click. And enter with the left mouse button to end the line command. Okay, so that. Now I'm going to move. Select the perpendicular line we just created right there. In the command prompt, specify the base point for displacement. I'm going to choose this new tool, snap to end point. Looks like a little barbell. I'm going to go down here and select object, unfound, enter. Specify the base point, move, and now I'm going to choose snap to midpoint. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side just to show you that even though I click this and I have the snap engaged, the triangle is there, so when I do click, it will snap right to the exact midpoint of this arc. Therefore, the whole goal is really to be able to snap on a midpoint of some given arc. So it's a long explanation for a relatively simple thing that you may or may not have need. I always think of these tools as a Swiss Army knife, and sometimes you open up one of those blades, you don't know what that thing is for. Maybe it's for skinning leather or opening a can, and it's not until you actually need it you understand what all this is about. And so here is one version of that. Next, we will go try the bisection of an angle. Okay, here comes the bisection of an angle. We're going to go into our drawing tools. We're going to choose a very handy tool called the construction line. It creates a line of infinite length, and we can use this when we're trying to determine some kind of geometry. Have a line, and we're going to tell it what to do. We're going to right click. We're going to say this whole little exercise is on bisection of a line. And now we need to determine the line that we're going to use. I'm going to choose B, which is the vertex of both of this line. I'm going to choose the other end. Okay, and now you can see that the construction line wants to do its thing. It just needs to know where's the third point. And we choose the C, and then we press enter, and this is what we've done. So this creates the perfect halfway bisection point of this angle. And you'll see that that line goes off indefinitely. Maybe we'll just draw a small one because we need the space for our next drawing. So let's come here. And we'll do this not to the endpoint, but okay. So that's 2 of them. Now we'll move on to the third one, which is to transfer an angle. Actually, I'm going to skip the transfer of an angle. You may try it as you wish. To me, it's more confusing than helpful at this point because it has a lot of steps to it. And I don't know if I'll use it that much. But I know that this next one, which is on page 315, I'll use a lot, which is dividing a given line into an equal number of parts. Every once in a while, you need to draw something that has equal number of parts. I'm going to go into my draw. I'm going to choose the tool, divide. I'm going to divide, select object to divide. I want this one. And how many? The book says 5. 5, enter. Okay, so theoretically it has made small nodes, and I don't know if you can see them, but they're like little nodes. It's just a little speck. And so we need to create a line so that we can see them. Maybe we're making some kind of comb or relay, and we're going to go ahead and point those out. We're going to copy the object, and now we're going to rely on this tool, which is the node tool. Make sure that the right one. Snap to node. And so we're taking this object and we're going to find our first node. And we're going to need node tool, move cursor along A and B. You have to check again, make sure it's engaged. Okay, let's try this. Let's do copy. We'll choose our endpoint. Snap to node. There's one there, but something is fighting, so let's go look in here. Okay, so I didn't give the big command to make sure that it was active. Yeah, nothing is coming out. Okay, found one. And I'm just doing it visually, so apparently my node is not working out so well. So visually I'm looking for this infinitesimal little dot. Okay, so that's one demo of it. I would have to try it again to be proficient, but that would include how to divide an object, which is pretty handy.